Ironheart was a disaster for Marvel, and it's a disaster that they knew was going to happen. There's a reason that they didn't put out a trailer for this thing before about a month before it released. There's a reason that they shot this thing 3 years ago, desperately tried to edit it to hell, desperately tried to save it, and ultimately released it in a week's time span. 3 episodes on one Tuesday, dumped the last 3 episodes in the next one to get it over as quickly as they could. And the reaction from the fan base has either been, wow, this fucking sucks, or complete disinterest. And that's probably what Marvel knew was going to happen. However, that doesn't mean that they've given up trying to save it. That doesn't mean that they're going to just let it fly by under the radar with no push whatsoever. They have been pushing Ironheart at least as much as they think they can. And one of the big people that they've been using to do that has been Robert Downey Jr. We talked about the cringe scripted PR appearance by Robert Downey Jr. on ABC's Good Morning America, owned by Disney, by the way. And Robert Downey Jr. has been used to push this thing because even though they can say as much as they want that, well, Ironheart's not a replacement for Iron Man. It's not like that. She's a completely different person. It's 1,000% the connection they're trying to make, and using Robert Downey Jr. to push it once again is just more proof of that. Not only did we see a PR video, a PR appearance on Good Morning America pushing this. Not only did we then see a recorded phone call between them to desperately try to push it, but now we have more of Robert Downey Jr. pushing Ironheart for Marvel. They're getting a lot out of him. I know they're paying him like $100 million to do Doomsday and to do Secret Wars. Whatever they paid him for the required marketing stuff, he's getting his money's worth. It's not working, but he's putting in a lot of work. Robert Downey Jr. sits down with Dominique Thorne in another scripted Marvel PR push for Iron Man. And it happened on a YouTube video that they released. It's about 15 minutes long of Robert Downey Jr. often reading off a notepad and having such a candid conversation with Dominique Thorne, where some of it is over Zoom and the other parts they have really high quality cameras recording them having the Zoom call. But a lot of it was focused on, wow, this character just reminds me so much of my character. And that really reminds me of Iron Man. And Dominique Thorne then being like, yeah, I really felt like Iron Man. Like, this is what Tony Stark does. This is Iron Man type of thing. And here's just a snippet of what this interview is like.
Stabilize the cabin pressure. I need some more air.
Okay, Ray.
I literally could not believe that I was doing this. I felt that to me was probably the moment of like, whoa, this is real. Like, this is Iron Man. This is Tony Stark. This is the HUD. This is insane. And there's definitely BTS of it somewhere about me just losing my mind and laughing and trying to just get it together. Like, hey, this is real. Sure, I guess.
So much in this first episode sets up about anxiety, this generation having to deal with anxiety of the information age. And the way you set it up is just literally got a ton of heart. And I found myself very entertained by it.
So this is kind of the tone of the interview, but it is a desperate thing for Marvel to do, to roll out Robert Downey Jr., their biggest star, still their biggest star, the guy they walked on there on stage, to make this desperate push to make this character mean something to people. And what's more wild is that it hasn't worked at all. It did not work for this. This is embarrassingly low numbers for this movie, or for this TV series. It's embarrassingly low ratings, to the point where Disney has not said a goddamn word about the performance of Ironheart. Usually, even when it's kind of disappointing numbers, whether it's like Daredevil Born Again launches with 7.5 million views in the first 5 days on Disney Plus. Even with something like that, they put out the statement. They try to do some spin. They put out nothing for Ironheart, and it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks, and they haven't said shit. Agatha all along, they put it out after a week. Even other stuff like Acolyte, Ahsoka, blah, blah, they put it out. They put out the numbers. They haven't put out shit for this, and you know why? Because of how embarrassing the numbers are. The first week it was available, it did not track on the ratings charts for originals. Well, it did track on the second week, in large part due to it having nearly 300 minutes of available watch time with 6 episodes debuting. We finally get an appearance from Ironheart on the chart. It's sitting there at 5, despite all of that potential runtime. And you can see the first week it was out, 222 million minutes watched. Now, the reason the number of episodes they put out are important, the runtime is important, because that's how views are determined. There was 142 minutes of runtime for Ironheart in the first 3 episodes. And in the first 3 days it was available, it was watched, if you do the math on this, by about 1.5 million people. 1.5 million. And when you look at the second number for all of the episodes combined over basically what is a week and a half, 10 days worth of data on this thing, and 289 million minutes watched, I believe that's the number, it's close to 300 million. You're talking about the second week when all of them were available, 567 million. Let's be generous to them and add in those first couple days on top of that number. We get our 10-day number. Let's even round up for them and combine these and say almost 800 million minutes watched. 800 million minutes watched divided by the available runtime, you're still talking about something that reached less than 3 million people. Less than 3 million people over 10 days. And these were the numbers for Daredevil Born Again, which never charted. You are talking about potentially the worst viewed thing that they have had. And this is all with not once, not twice, but 3 times rolling the biggest star you have, Robert Downey Jr., out there in a desperate attempt to make this show matter to people. And it just didn't work. It just doesn't work. And it really makes you question what's going to happen moving forward. If your biggest guy can't get a bump at all, then what the fuck does that mean? It means there's a lack of interest. It means that people don't like the character, that they've never liked the character. And Disney has remained silent about this. Mum is the word from Disney right now in the performance of Ironheart. The reason is because they know how bad it was. Audiences didn't like it. And worse for them, nobody actually tuned in. Complete apathy for this character. And understandably so. She's not a hero. She is, in fact, a selfish villain archetype. That's who Ironheart is. And nobody watched.